I'm Morey White.
I'm Tracey White.
And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Wait, fade by.
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
Do I need to put a timer going?
Nah, I'm at 39%. It'll update before the end of the podcast, though.
Your phone updating, that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm updating.
I see what time it is, so 6:25. We'll just go by that. And we are back, by the way.
We're back, and we're live. Welcome to the podcast. Glad that you're here.
How you doing, Johnny?
Fine. How are you? I don't know. Every Monday. No, we're not stretching. If anything, we'll snip. We'll cut this thing down.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Well, it's just that deal, right? We just committed. Yeah, that's right. You're so buzzed. We committed to trying, when we're not so hard and fast that we're going to do this every Monday, no matter what. We've taken a few off. We're going to have a few others we're going to take off as the summer goes on.
Yeah.
But the commitment is to just let it roll.
Let it roll.
Always kidding about this. I've never really edited anything.
I know.
I've thrown in a picture or I've done something like that, but I've never cut.
You've always threatened to edit. That's how
The picture of Tracy was fantastic.
Oh,
Love it.
So wrong.
The balloon thing. In fact, today I was also watching 2019 in review. A look back at 2019, and that was the year of the picture of
the
Tracy.
year of the picture of the year of the balloons. All I'm going to say is that we're, doing this every week means you get what you get, right? It's just a conversation.
And just for
no big agenda.
For
we're
full
just
transparency, to let everybody know, the reason we didn't end up recording a podcast last time is because the three of us sat and got into a pretty deep conversation that we thought was best to. It was pretty heavy.
Yeah, it was good.
But it was very, very good. Johnny and I so appreciate it. So thank you very much for taking that time with us.
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, well, you guys are the priority. You need therapy.
That was.
It was therapy.
It was great. It was great to tell you guys some stories about about Compass and how it came to be and all that. More than you had known before, I guess. And but this is always the priority beyond the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we love you guys for watching.
We do.
It's not a giant crowd, but there's a sort of a faithful following out there. We ought to give them a gift, a button or something.
Subscribe now, and you'll get a free gift.
You can see the podcast for free if you.
We can make some of those buttons anyway.
We can.
I watched the Compass Conversation podcast.
That's right. We'll sign it.
Yeah. You know what?
Oh, how valuable that will be.
We'll do it. It might be digital, and we'll email it to you, but you'll get it.
Print this out, put it in a button thing.
Hey, if we get 50 subscribers, we should do something special.
We should do that.
We have a ways to go for that.
I was one, you're
maybe
two.
some freebie.
Yeah. Maybe I have to watch it now.
Get my family. Oh, well. But anyway, all that to say, yes, last week was great. I enjoyed sharing that. I really did not plan to share some of that, but it was good. It was good to talk. And, so now you're back in, and here we are.
Right.
Here we are.
Hey, whether we're tired, you asked me how I'm doing. I'm not really so tired. I don't know really why I would be. It was a long day yesterday. It's been a long several days. But it's all been good, and we're making some travel plans and things. Mm-hmm. Speaking of travel,
that makes for planning. That is tough too.
Tell us what you did.
Oh,
got some sun.
We went
lobster.
We were outside. Obviously, I am truly sunburned. In fact, painfully sunburned. I do have aloe vera, so it's all good. But we went to see our friend, Tracy and we're in the 3DB studios right now, and he's the other business partner. So there's Tracy and I and Dan. We went to watch his daughter race in Grand Junction. She races go-karts, and this was her first race in this type of go-kart with gas go-karts. So
It's pretty cool.
with all the things going on in everybody's life, it was important for her and for Dan that we be there. Mm-hmm. So we did. It was long.
That's a long way to go. It's pretty far.
It's a long way to go.
Grand
but
Junction.
It was great watching her race and watching her improve. Most of those drivers have been doing it. They start at 5.
Yeah.
5 years
They
old.
do. 5 years old, they start driving those karts.
Crazy.
So most of those kids that are out there started at 5, and her age group is up to 16 years old.
Good grief.
She's 14, and so
It's like a mini NASCAR, isn't it? I mean, it's like
it's more like
serious.
IndyCar.
Oh,
it's
IndyCar.
road course.
That's cool.
The terrain changes, so I mean it's a really cool track.
That's cool.
But we saw every kind of weather except snow. So
Did you see it caps though in the distance? We saw some of those.
there was something over the going on over the Grand Mesa, which if you've never been there, please go, because that is a really beautiful place. When you're driving, you're looking at it going, it's just kind of this flat thing on top. Why would I want to go up there? But when you get up there, it is totally different than the rest of Colorado.
Interesting.
It is really.
Okay.
There's like 400 lakes up there.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, and there's moose and ferns
Wow.
growing. It's crazy. It's its
In
own
Colorado?
It's its own thing. It's not like the rest of Colorado. I'm just telling you.
Interesting.
So we almost went there. But we never made it quite that far.
It's
our
a long ways.
getaway.
It's a long ways. But on our way back last night, we got to Glenwood Springs coming back. No problem there. Julie and I were going to switch drivers at that point. And from Glenwood Springs through the canyon was closed.
Oh no! Really?
Apparently there was some sort of
Flash
an
flood?
accident.
Accident.
And so it shut down the entire canyon because they're doing construction. The road is one way
Yeah, I remember.
right now. So we had to come home via Aspen
Oh, whoa!
and then up and around back to 70 and then, so over Independence Pass and all of that and come back, which added about 2.5 hours
I was
to the
about
drive.
to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
To an
but
already long.
But y'all like driving, so.
we do. But I mean, there was apparently the delay was like 4 or 6 hours.
Wow.
So 4 to 6
Good.
hours. So
Nice.
we did okay.
Sorry. I'm very
It's a no
sorry.
yawns
So-
on. It's a silent scream for help. Don't do it.
Midnight before we went to bed, or when we got home.
And then you
Almost
got up and
midnight.
worked.
Yeah, I got
And you, of course, were also
I was. So,
out of pocket over the weekend.
Yeah, we had an actual drill weekend, UTA weekend is what it's called, in person. Not everybody was there. They allowed some mission essential folks, and because there's upcoming deployment, we had some those folks show up, and then some leadership showed up as well for support. And for a good 3-day, drill weekend, and that was great because I missed everybody, and I got to sit in the role that I just got promoted into. So that was neat.
That's right. I don't think we even ever mentioned that. We hinted at it several podcasts back, or something.
Yeah,
you can't talk about
yeah.
it. You can't. No.
No, it's
Well,
all
wait.
official now. I made chief.
You're the chief?
I'm the chief
that Chief
of
Master
operations.
Sergeant?
Chief
Is that-
Master Sergeant. Yeah.
Chief Master
Wow.
Yeah. So that's E9.
I thought you should sit up a
So-
little straighter, just knowing that information.
Yeah.
He's at the top.
Let me tell you something that was funny
That's
though.
awesome, man.
And I've been at this particular squadron for I don't know, probably almost 10 years now, maybe a little over 9. Anyway, I was there as the first sergeant, and then I cross-trained into the career field. And anyway, I have stood in front of everybody in that squadron and have spoken to them many times. And I'm very comfortable doing that. Well, this weekend, of course, we had our masks on and everybody was spaced apart a little more. But I had something to say to everybody, right? So I get up there and I'm trying to speak loud because of the face mask. So I went and I took a nice leisurely deep breath and I said the first line of what I was going to say. And then I inhaled because my breath was out and I inhaled really hard and it freaked me out. It absolutely freaked me out.
You brought your mask into your mouth.
It kind of did, yeah. And I had like this little mini panic attack. Oh, no. And so I said the second thing, the second sentence, and went to breathe in again, and I'm like, so I tore the mask off.
Oh no!
I'm way away from everybody.
Well,
I stepped out and into the open part there. And I said, I can't breathe in this thing. And for whatever reason, I was nervous from there out. So I'm like all jittery and, nervous and everything. And it was a little embarrassing because I was trying to convey something that I thought was very important. And it's just
that's
one of those things,
man.
But nobody gave me a hard time about it. They all...
Hey, but you didn't sling it at anybody, right?
No, but that would have been cool. And
they would have given you points for that.
But the one of the best things I heard this weekend was from the commander. He said, "It's not your mask that smells. It's your breath."
Yeah, well, there you go.
His wife had told him that, so he passed off that wisdom to us.
That's hilarious. Well, that's a public speaking thing, too.
Are you trying to say something, brother?
That is a public speaking deal where, and I've had this is just years and years of being in front of people talking. And even today, if something goes weird at the very beginning, and you guys have probably picked up on it a couple of times, then it takes me a minute to kind of get back.
Yeah.
Because it throws everything. Because you're in the zone, right? And then, wait, everything's off. And you're trying to fix everything back and get back on track.
Exactly.
All right. Well, interestingly enough, these two great stories converge into something that has not happened since we've started the podcast, and that is that both of you guys were not present on Sunday.
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun. So it's time for another little talking to. No.
Hey, I was working.
All right,
I'm kidding. But you guys did catch it online.
We did.
After the fact, and so you're kind of up to speed.
So just to let everybody know, if you're not there on Sunday, you can always catch up later.
That's right. Bing. Perfect example.
Yeah. That is a benefit. That truly is a benefit.
It's not the same as being live, though, as we all know. Right?
And unfortunately, all right, we missed that race, but she had another race at 10:15, so... Or she had a race. We missed that race because of some other issues that were going on, but anyway, that was a whole nother...
Well, it's like if you wanted to leave a comment when you're watching it later, nobody else will be responding.
You know what, though? I'm almost glad I missed the question.
Oh,
because I was sitting there thinking, which cartoon character?
Right?
Oh my goodness, I have no idea which one would be the one that I would want to spend some time with.
Who would you hang out with?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good,
when
that's
you
a
were
good
little,
thing for us to be doing right now.
Yeah.
When it was little, it was Space Ghost for you. You love Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
But as I grew, I mean, maybe Ren and Stimpy. I'm not really sure. Because I went through that phase too.
Well, to be clear, this was our greeting question for those who don't know.
Yeah.
And it was if you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would it be and why?
Right.
Just kind of an icebreaker getting us talking. So that's what we're talking about.
It would not be Bart Simpson. I don't want to get in trouble. Or Cartman. What's it?
Cartman. Yeah.
Cartman. I don't keep up with all that stuff. It wouldn't be SpongeBob. I know who it wouldn't be.
SpongeBob would be all right.
No.
It reminds me of a cartoon I saw somewhere.
Patrick.
It was Paul of Tarsus in a jail cell, and next to him was SpongeBob. So Paul, are we almost there? Yeah, hey, you think Bob? And they referred to him as his thorn in the flesh.
That is awesome.
Finally discovered Paul's thorn in the flesh.
That's great.
Well, anyway, I'm kind of talking all over the place here, but anyway, it was fun. So, what was that experience like watching it later, as opposed to being there live?
Well, it was more because I watched it while I didn't watch it. I more listened to it than anything because I was working, and so I just put that on as I was working, which I'm not sure if that's the best thing to do. I wanted to make sure that I tuned in. I did want to hear. But because I was working, I was also distracted a little bit from the message. But I think I caught pretty much most of it. But it's better being there live.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Yeah, it's different.
It is definitely better there live. Like being here, I forget about these cameras. I really do.
Right.
Yeah. I don't. I have to switch them.
Yeah, you have to switch them. But I forget. And it really was. I forgot that I was actually watching it recorded, and I almost did.
People started talking. And how awkward! You'd have thought nobody's talking to me.
I would have been.
I'm being ignored.
So there was that. But and yes, I was working too. Okay, I had something running. So.
The interesting thing is like if it's live and someone says something, either a comment about what we're talking about or about the earlier question or whatever, if it's live, you don't just get a comment from somebody. Leona will like read to me, someone said, da, 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 and I'll actually talk about it right then or call you out or laugh or whatever. So that's another thing that makes it a little more fun, I think.
Yeah,
it is fun. It is fun. But y'all had a good group anyway.
We did, yeah. This is phase 2. We are kind of inching out there, with all of as much caution as we can use.
Yeah.
But it's the idea, we're still doing our base camp gathering online with 2 options now. Option 1 is you can always just be a part of it online.
Right.
Someone joined us from California.
Nice.
Again, Sunday. I think it was the same person.
Uh-huh. Good.
And, even commented, blessings to all at the end.
Nice.
Have no idea who they were.
Huh.
And others who we know, and friends and family members who were a part of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a cool thing to be live if you can't be with us.
Mm-hmm.
But the second option right now is to be a part of Base Camp Online with others.
Yes.
And basically, that is
our
with a
micro gathering.
Yeah, there's no good name. I think micro gathering sounds weird. Home group sounds like just normal small groups. I didn't want it to be too confusing. So it's because it's not just a small group, but we had people come to our house, and it is a little different, I think, being in the house where everything's originating from.
Oh yeah.
Because everything is much louder. I mean, you got the speaker, and usually if you're watching online, you're going, I think I need to turn up the volume. But if you're there in the room,
It's loud.
you go, oh, it is kind of loud. we just got to fix our mic situation or something. So anyway, but it was cool. We had, I think I said 10, but I think it was 9 actually. 9 people in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some breakfast, same basic breakfast we had when we were here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
For Big Sunday. And it was just kind of nice. I mean, so they got there about 15 minutes before. I reminded them that when the 5-minute countdown starts, that it's actually live. And if you're standing by the camera, anything you're saying is going to be on the feed. So. Anyhow, it was a nice dynamic. I mean, it was fun to have others singing in the room in all of our beauty, right? Just making joyful noise all around.
That's awesome.
Great.
So, anyhow.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a great in-between, I think.
And I think if we have somebody over here, I'm not sure we would want to set up, because in our living room, there's already, because Kathy watches kids in that upper living room, and there's already a TV up there. Or we could bring that TV out here and have people just in here, because it's nice and spread out.
I do have one you can use for right now. I mean,
no, I'd just take.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm thinking of
See,
doing.
I forgot about the cameras.
It's all right. Let's just work out our plan.
Yeah.
This is behind the scenes a little bit. I was just going to say, this Sunday, we'll talk about it Wednesday too, but I'm thinking I might shrink down the number that are actually at our house this week and farm out everybody.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And divide them
Send a
between
couple
two
our
houses.
way.
Because there's a nice dynamic with just having 3 or 4 other people in the house.
Yeah.
It just changes everything. I don't know. And these guys, by the way, there's also that danger that we could, clog up the internet, with everybody online.
Yeah.
But a number of them were all online while in the room.
Oh, well, that's
right?
good.
So, like Annette might actually say something in the comments, but she also said it out loud or whatever. So, I don't know. It's a weird and wonderful kind of get together.
It's pretty neat.
And that's the thing. If we're doing it at home, you'll have to have that one person with the access to type in all the comments for the people that are in the room.
Either
or something
that,
like that.
or and since you're just receiving the signal, come in. Hello.
Sorry, it's my phone finally updating.
Oh.
Like 20 minutes
It's
later.
All right. Yay, it's updated. Well, it's probably more important from where we were sending the stream than it is even from the home where you're receiving it. But who knows?
I didn't see any jerkiness or anything like that.
I was trying to be nice. I'm just cracking myself up. All right. Well, what I was saying is that everybody could be on their device,
Yeah.
One thing I did do was I printed out. I know not a lot of people are singing when it's just you and your family, but some of you guys are, right, from time to time.
Well, because when Kathy and I watch, we're on 2 different computers watching, and there's always a delay between the 2. So when we're singing, we're never in sync with each other.
Well, that's the thing about having just the stream at your house is that it's coming from one place. You're
Right.
all in the same room,
Yeah.
and you could sing along.
Sure.
Right? So I printed out.
Right.
I printed out page 2. Just a pro tip. The page 1 is all the information about Compass and how to give and all that stuff. But page 2 is just the song lyrics. So we actually printed those out, had them on the table, and they were actually using paper to sing
Oh,
along.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Which reminds me, I already told you about it, but you'll get this. A couple of weeks ago, Johnny was saying, "On Christ the solid rock I stand." Right. And so I asked him after last Monday, "What's a Nessalone?"
Nesso!
Your righteous Nessalone.
Dressed in his righteous Nessalone.
What a righteous Nessalone.
What is a Nessalone?
So, all right.
My goodness. That
We
is
did
great.
another old song Sunday. We did Grace.
We did.
Grace.
Oh, that was before the big Sunday, wasn't it? Never mind.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. But anywho,
Okay.
But it cracked me up.
where are we at on time now? Because we've just been jawing a bit.
We're about 22 minutes. 20
some odd
Do
percent.
you guys want to talk at all about what we talked about on Sunday?
Sure.
Praying?
I like it. Yeah. About becoming, well,
Yeah.
more than just praying.
Well,
Becoming a person of prayer. You said
A
that.
gentle
Prayer.
rebuke.
yes.
Oh, well,
Thanks
it's not
for
gross.
smacking me on the head, bro. My goodness.
A little clarification.
Mom taught you to
Iron
be nicer
sharpens
to me.
iron in this room, guys.
No, Mom said whenever he's on her, you just hit him. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man. I
That's-
think you might hit back these days.
I got beat up a lot when I was a kid. Pretty ornery.
Anyway, right.
Here's the
Becoming.
truth
Am I
of it is-
becoming?
Right.
Truth of it is when he would get in trouble, I would cry to my parents, not to punish him, punish me instead.
Wow.
That's
Man,
real.
that's beautiful.
He's the
Dude.
one that got me in trouble.
That's usually why.
So it was the guilt that you
I
were
was.
carrying.
I'm a thinker, and he's a doer. Right?
He doesn't think at
Oh,
all.
wouldn't it be cool if we really did this thing that destroyed the house? Yeah, I'll do that.
That's kind of how it went. Sorry.
That's fantastic.
It was great.
That's
All
how
right.
Dad learned to be a handyman.
That's right.
Fixing all the stuff you guys broke and destroyed.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, we just went
weren't that
way off
bad.
rails here a second. Okay,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
you said
Person of prayer.
it's all good. Yeah,
Yeah, because you
It's
said
praying.
that too. It's not just
Yeah.
about praying.
exactly.
That's why I was repeating something you said. Becoming a person of prayer. First resort type thing.
That's what that's kind of the big one that I liked, point that I liked in there is that prayer is not a last resort. No. When everything's going wrong, that's when you pray. No.
There's so many reasons why.
Approach everything that you do, every day that you wake up in prayer.
Well, we've talked about how prayer is that direct relationship.
Yes.
It's talking to, and that's, if you've said, if you just went to Leona every time you needed something,
right?
What would that relationship be?
What a relationship that'd be.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
So that's something from the past that kind of applies.
Well, and that was just it. I mean, I mentioned that too, that I know we've spent a lot of time talking about prayer in the past year.
Which is great.
But at the same time, I just knew that as we're going through questions, we're asking ourselves about, am I growing spiritually? Where am I? You can't not go back to prayer for a minute.
I agree.
Because it's vital. It's a huge thing. And it is what you said, that becoming a person of prayer means it's ongoing. It doesn't stop. It's not
never ceasing.
It's not the baby talk of spiritual growth. It is the talk of, it's that ongoing thing. And there's always new things to discover and learn about prayer as well. So we took it from a little different angle, anywho. But never a last resort. I think what I said was first response, and even before your response.
Yes.
I have been in situations with people who their only prayer was like, something they memorized before they ate dinner.
Yeah.
That really was all they prayed. And then, they've been a Christian. They go to church from time to time, and their prayer was just kind of like that. It was real simple, nothing, which is great.
Yeah.
But that was all there is. It was pretty thin and lean.
Yes.
And then when the crisis hit, right, the spouse is in the hospital, or they're in the hospital, or their parents pass away, or something happens, it's like, where is God? They're furious at God, and then they don't know how to communicate with God, and they don't hear Him in that hard time because they never learned to hear His voice when things were not hard.
Yeah.
And that's the key. I mean, it's learning to have an ongoing relationship with God and being engaged and connected with Him, so that all the ups and downs of life, you're not thrown off. It doesn't mean those things aren't hard, but you don't suddenly think that God isn't there and where is He? You're trying to play massive catch up in a relationship, and you're also begin to project all kinds of things on God that were not anything He did. So anyway, it's important, to
it's
become a person of prayer.
We're reading through the Bible. We're doing one of those plans, and we're still early on in the Old Testament, and we're going through things, and I know that God communicated very differently at that time because there was some need for the way it was. However, there was never a question of what am I going to do in this situation? I'm going to consult God. I'm going to build an altar and do a sacrifice to God, which was a communication.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was always, that was the first thing they did. We're about to go into battle. Oh, let's talk to God about that. That was the first thing that they did, and it's really interesting. It's emphasized over and over and over and over. Cool. Anyway,
I'm looking forward to hearing when you guys have made your way through, because you're doing a chronological plan, right?
Yeah, chronological.
So you'll probably end up reading in the New Testament Hebrews later. But one of the best things in the world, not best thing in the world, but something's kind of fun, is if you've actually read through the Old Testament with all of its weirdness in places, and you just go, well, how did that fit into the story I'd always... Wait, what? He did what? And all this kind of stuff that happens is kind of strange. And then you have this massive amount of time. But then in the New Testament, you see the book of Hebrews. And as you begin to read through Hebrews, it's like a giant light goes back to the Old Testament and goes,
yes.
oh. Yeah. And you recognize things. And that's That's the kind of thing you don't get just from sort of popcorn reading of Scripture.
Right.
So it's always good to be doing the
Yep.
overall thing. But I don't always encourage people to start doing it that way because they get bogged down in Exodus 21 or something, and I can't read anymore. Sometimes I think Leviticus makes much more sense than Exodus 21. But anywho,
It's
there's fun stuff going on all around.
Yeah, I know that it's. I'm not saying anything.
You don't want to give any spoilers.
No, I'm not saying. Well, no, I'm not saying anything negative by saying that my wife is a newer Christian, so she didn't grow up, with all of the different Bible stories. But I don't like the word Bible stories. They're biblical, historical fact.
Yeah.
Because they actually happen, and so this is there's a fascination there that is just so amazing to watch. Like I said, we were ahead, so she did let me skip last night because it was midnight when we got home. So she did let me skip last night as far as our reading plan because we are ahead.
But the good news is you have the rest of your life to finish.
That's true.
Right. Well, we're ahead of the plan.
And you can take your time because
But if
it's still the same.
she wanted to listen to it the whole trip, and
Oh, cool.
like, let's
Get ahead. Oh,
that's
that's because it's like the Netflix phenomenon, right? Because you're binge watching the Bible.
well, but it's still it's a fascination with seeing a lot because she's heard a lot of the New Testament, and then seeing the references and understanding some of the references.
That's so cool.
Which is really kind of neat to see.
Yep.
Somebody who's seeing it for the first time. Really jumping into it and diving into it. And there's always a lot of discussion. So, especially right now in Genesis.
You're going to love the next question in the spiritual growth.
Spoilers?
That's all I'm saying.
Ah. Well, goodbye.
I think I'm finished with the last one. I think we're going to set the prayer. I had stuff still. I'm just like,
That's up
once
to
again,
you, man.
we can keep going. I'm just praying it through. I don't want to get.
I am not tired.
That's all right. The worst thing would be to, just.
You know where liars go.
Oh, you guys. The worst thing would.
Lake of fire.
Hands on fire. Liar.
Hands on fire.
And now we know why.
That's
I've
right.
seen that meme that says, wouldn't it be really great if liars' pants actually caught on fire?
That would be, keep things straight. A lot of car dealerships would be on. Okay, anyway. So.
That's funny.
Anyhow, all I was going to say is I never want to go, hey, I've made a plan that we're going to go through, and I got to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
Right? If it's because I'm just working the plan rather than being sensitive to what needs to be shared and where we all are. And so, anyway.
Take
we'll
your time.
happens.
Take your time.
You know what, guys?
Pretty fun.
John 3:16.
John 3:16.
Just saying.
Randomly, it's always appropriate, isn't it?
It is appropriate, but it just did, there was nowhere to
Just truth bomb.
stick that in,
In
so
the
we're going to throw it in
podcast.
there
There you
because
go.
it needs to be there.
John
Which, by the way, I really want to write a song.
Called John
Well,
3:16?
actually, I want someone else to write it. I want to play a song. I can help write the music.
Sure.
But I'm not a lyricist.
Yeah.
So, last time we wrote lyrics all together, it ended up being breakfast for lunch.
Yes,
So
that's
no,
true.
let's not.
We probably don't want to do that.
Oh, man. Well, I've been thinking about it. I have been thinking about it for what that's worth. I know there's a
great
new
song.
song.
It's a good song.
There is a new song, and I think it's sort of kind of moving up the sort of worship.
What is it?
It's not really charts, but I mean, their church is starting to do it. That's about John 3:16,
I want to hear it.
but I haven't heard it yet. So
I haven't heard it yet either. Have you heard it?
have you heard it?
Probably. I just don't know which one you're talking about.
I don't know. I think
That's
I think
because
it's
we're
one of
always listening to Air One. Not sponsored.
them. But if you would like to,
But if you
it's Johnny at compassnumber.com. Well, anywho, so John 3:16, of course, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Yep. The gospel in a nutshell, right there.
Yep. That is it.
I like it.
That's right.
That is it.
All right, guys. Was there anything else? I was going to say, we talked about that persistent prayer thing, but we don't need to rehash that. You can watch the service because it's on Facebook right now.
Please do.
And you can go to our website, compassdenver.com/watch, and all of our services have been posted there, and some other fun things also.
Yep.
There's a lot of really good stuff out there. I hadn't really looked at the YouTube channel. I am now subscribed.
I saw that today. Yes. Thank you, Morey, for finally subscribing to the Compass Church YouTube channel.
Subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications.
Yeah, hit the bell so you get
bell.
That's right.
Click the bell so you get notifications.
All right, guys. I think we're at the end here. Be sure to do this for us. This would make us encouraged and encourage us to keep going with the podcast. We're probably going to do it regardless. But drop a comment. Let us know that you've enjoyed following along. And, we're kind of kidding around, but it would be great to get 50 subscribers. We have a bit to go.
Buttons for everyone.
What would you want? What do you want from us? We'll give it to you. Maybe a shout out in the podcast with your name. Maybe a link to your website.
We'll give you a new car.
Car from us.
A Toyota.
Oh man.
A little toy Yoda.
A toy Yoda.
Yoda.
Actual Yoda. Baby Yoda?
I was going to say.
Baby.
Morey's already moved on. He's doing other things.
Okay.
We need to move on.
Well, he's going to get in trouble.
We're done. You need to get going.
He's
All right,
got
guys.
a date. So
That's it.
She needed my driver's license number. I don't know why, but
Here's the thing.
And your mother's maiden name.
We meet every Sunday. You can find us at compassdenver.com. We'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday, either live in a host home. Send us an email. Let us know about that. You can send it at a variety of places. You can even just send it to info@compassdenver.com and just say, hey, I'm interested in being a part of a host group or a home that's going to gather and watch the feed. Or you can just watch online. And we'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, that's what we have for now. We got some final words, and they are.
Love you guys. Love everybody.
peace.
Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are done.
Sorry, guys.
This is funny.